Good morning, everyone. Day 20-ish. I've kind of lost count of where we are now. But I'm pretty sure we're on day 20. If you joined us yesterday, you can probably hear my voice sounds a little bit better today, so we're getting there now. The cold is on its way out, and I do feel way better, thankfully. So we've got a little bit of a twisty flow this morning. We'll take it nice and slow as we move through it, but we'll get stuck straight in this morning. Lots of options, modifications, variations. So I just really want to encourage you to kind of listen to your own body, really tune into how you feel this morning. It could be very different to how you felt yesterday. It's going to be very different to how you feel next week. Just tune into kind of how you feel today, what your body needs, and yeah, go with it. Develop that kind of self-trust piece. So we're going to begin seated. As always, you can begin lying down if you prefer, but just finding a seat of your own choice. So it doesn't have to look like mine. You can sit up on the knees if you prefer. In fact, today, why not? I'm going to sit on my knees. Let's switch things up a bit. So yeah, you can sit any way that you'd like, but just find somewhere that you can come to some stillness just for a few moments, just to begin the practice. As you're ready, if it feels okay for you to do so, just close down the eyes. And just become aware of what's around you. So no need to kind of block out those sounds, the things that you can hear. I can hear an aircraft overhead, birds tweeting. And then just check in with yourself. Just notice how you feel today. Both kind of physically, how do you feel? Are you feeling stiff this morning, or do you feel well rested and kind of ready for the day? But also checking in, just checking in with your mind too. How are you feeling? Are you dealing with something at the moment that you'd like to shake off or work through? Maybe you've just had the best news ever. Whatever it is, however you feel, just notice it. And then I invite you just to bring your awareness onto your breath. Just notice. Don't change anything at all. But just become more aware of it. Do you breathe through the nose or through the mouth? Do you breathe in the chest or maybe deep down in the belly? And then if it feels comfortable for you, maybe just begin to deepen your breath. So lengthen the inhales and the exhales. Just to a point that feels comfortable. As it's going to see you through the rest of your practice. Just finding a rhythm that works best for you. And then once you feel like you have that connection to your breath, if the eyes are closed, just begin to blink them open. And first things first today, we're going to come onto all fours. So bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees come underneath the hip points. Finding that all fours position. We'll take some nice gentle cat-cow to warm up this morning. So as you inhale, drop the belly down, gazing up towards the ceiling, sending the chin up. And then as you exhale, reverse that motion. So really press into the hands, arching through the back, bringing the chin onto the chest. Inhaling, dropping the belly. Exhaling, pushing the ground away. Let's take one more here. Inhale, drop the belly, gazing up. Exhale, press the ground away, maybe bring that chin to the chest. Coming back to find your neutral spine here. We're going to just walk the hands up until we come back up to sit on our knees here. And then this morning we're just going to take a nice low lunge. So let's just bring the right leg out in front. And just as we did the other day, if you'd like to find a position that feels best for you, there's lots of modifications here. So you can lengthen your stance. You can send that right leg a bit further out, sinking deeper into that front knee, which is just going to allow you to feel the stretch a bit more in the hip. Or if you'd like to, you can walk that right foot further out so that you're a bit wider in stance and you feel a little bit less like you're on a tightrope. Gives you a little bit more balance. So just finding where feels good for you and your body this morning, being okay with the fact that it might look completely different to mine. And as you inhale, let's just send the arms up overhead, really reaching towards the ceiling. Bringing the palms of the hands together and then bringing them down through center, meeting in that heart space in the chest. As you inhale, think nice and tall through the spine. And then as you exhale, we're just going to twist around to the right. So keeping the legs where they are, but just twisting around to the right. Not cranking ourselves around at all. I know I say that all the time, but just allowing your body to come to where it naturally twists to. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then on your next exhale, just coming back through center. Maybe bringing the hands onto the hips here. Tuck the back toes if they're not already. And then we're just going to come to step up to the top of the mat. As you inhale, send the arms up overhead. Follow with your gaze if that feels comfortable. And as you exhale, sending everything down into a forward fold. Really generously bend the knees here. It's the first time we've been in a forward fold yet this morning. That's quite hard on the hamstring. So really generously bending through the knees. Maybe pedaling it out a little bit. So bending one knee more and then the other one. Just seeing how that feels. And then coming back into stillness here with the knees nice and bent. We're just going to find a couple of twists. So with the right hand down on the ground, we're just going to inhale, send the left hand up towards the ceiling. And it's okay if your hand is here, here, or all the way up here. Just finding a nice open twist that works for you. Replacing the left hand back down. As you inhale, send the right hand up. Just getting used to the fact that my practice might look different to yours. Replacing both hands down. Inhale as you come up to a halfway lift. That flat back position, tucking the elbows in towards the body so that the shoulder blades come together down the back. And then exhale, send everything back down to forward fold. Two options here, finding either plank or stepping the right leg back, dropping the knee down, followed by the left, finding all fours before we bend through the elbows, coming down to lie on the front. As you inhale, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. We're going to find Sphinx pose here. So spider through the hands, take the fingertips out really wide in front of you. Inhale, open through the chest, press through the tops of the feet, finding Sphinx pose. Remembering to really grip through each fingertip here, almost as if you're pulling yourself along the ground. We're not actually pulling ourselves along, but just thinking about pulling yourself along, creating some tension here as you open through the chest. Gazing over the right shoulder just for a second. Coming back through center and taking it to the other side. Gazing over the left shoulder. Inhaling back through center, We're just going to press ourselves back up to all fours position. Back into that tabletop. Walk the hands up onto the hips, and we're going to take it onto the other side. So this time, low lunge on the left side, bringing the left foot in front of you, finding that position, maybe a wider stance or a longer stance. And then inhaling, arms up overhead. Reach with the fingertips really nice and tall, think as tall as you possibly can, and then bringing the palms of the hands together overhead before bringing them through that center line down towards the heart space and the chest. Inhale nice and long as you get ready, and then exhale, twist yourself around to the left this time. Those back toes can be tucked if you feel like it gives you a little more balance. Inhaling back through center. Bringing the hands onto the hips. We're just going to press that back foot up to the blah. It's going to help us to come up to standing at the top of the mat. So if your toes aren't tucked, just tuck them and then press into that front leg as you come up to stand. Send the arms wide overhead as you inhale, gazing up. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees nice and generously. Inhale, halfway lift. Think about those shoulder blades coming together in the back. And then exhale, planting the hands back down. This time, we're going to come to all fours. So let's take the left leg back first, dropping the knee down to the mat, followed by the right leg, dropping the right knee down to the mat. From here, from all fours, this is completely optional for you because I know it's a bit of a love-hate pose. We're going to tuck the toes and we're just going to walk the hands up as we come onto the feet. So you might find you're in this nice squat position here. And you can really play with this. So you can find some nice gentle movement here, maybe left to right. You can find stillness here. And there's lots of options. So you may find if you haven't found this pose before that your heels don't come to the ground. Lots of options. You can find a book and you can rest your feet on the book. You could also not squat down so far. This could be your squat. Lots of options and ways to find something that your body needs in this pose. If you'd like to find stillness, you can come to bring your hands at heart center, use your elbows to kind of press your knees out as you think nice and tall, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. But wherever you are, just finding whatever works best for you this morning. Wherever you are right now, we're just going to lean back, sit back, and we're going to come to lie down. This morning, I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm going to let you kind of go with your intuition, go with your gut, see how you feel here. I'm going to take knees into my chest because you know it's my favorite. And I'm going to take some gentle movement for the lower back. If you'd like to take some supine twists, where we take the hips over to one side and let the knees drop out to the other side, you could. You could take that reclined pigeon pose, that kind of figure four pose, where we take the knee across to the other side. Finding something that works for you and being okay with the fact that right now it might look different to what I'm doing. I'm going to keep throwing moments like this in for you to listen to yourself and prioritize yourself over me. I'm going to come to Shavasana as our final pose. So there's no rush to get there if you are working through supine twists or reclined pigeons. Finish both sides, hold them equal lengths of time. And when you're ready, send the legs out long, arms alongside the body. Always the option to finish your practice in a seat if you prefer. But if you're finding Shavasana, just let everything grow really heavy. Releasing the tension through the body. Maybe feeling it release through the ankles as the feet tick-tock out. Letting your hips feel really heavy as they melt into the ground. Releasing that tension so many of us hold in our shoulders and neck. And relaxing through the muscles of the face. Just taking time here. Allowing yourself to be. Granting yourself permission just for these few moments to do nothing but be here. Acknowledge showing up for yourself this morning, maybe trying something a bit different. And if you have a little bit extra time to spare, maybe spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes in this pose for yourself. I will leave you there. Thank you so much for joining me this morning and practicing with me. I will be back tomorrow, 7:30, as always.